So what we're going to do is I'm going to wrap up with just a few things. Eric, I've got a slideshow, and he's got that up, I believe. So, Eric, why don't you go ahead and go back to the very first slide? I do want to go over that briefly. But before I get into slides and a few goals for the ministry, I want to recognize somebody who's been with Rafiki a long time. Susie, you want to stand up? She just took a sip of coffee. Uh-huh. So you all know Susie Harbeck. Susie, Susie and I have been working together. She was my boss and has worked with Rosemary since the beginning of Rafiki, pretty much. Managed all the missionaries for many years. And then Joanne Colvin, who was in Ghana at the time, needed to come home for 6 months. So Rosemary and I asked Susie if she would just go to Ghana for 6 months.
Be honest.
And it's turned into now Ghana for 3 years, and now you've been in Nigeria how many years? Over 12. Now, Susie went out to Ghana, and she was older than 55 plus. And she is running running the village and running a program. I just want to thank God for Susie and her steadfastness. I think she's an inspiration to all of us. So thank you very much. You go, girl. You go, girl. All right. Sorry, Eric. All right. So I'm just going to touch on a few things. First of all, I hope you enjoyed the missionary sharing. I know I did. And this is what you all are a part of. Every one of those stories, as you have prayed, as you have given, as you have gone short term, as you have written curriculum, we have people here who are involved in that. Whatever aspect you have been involved in has enabled this ministry to see the lives of children like Kirk, like Christopher, like Martin, like those families in Ethiopia, changed for eternity. Isn't that something that God would let you do that? You know what I love to tell our missionaries is this: it's not what you get to do, it's what you get to be a part of. It's not the task that you get to do. You may be ironing tablecloths for events. Is that right, Carol? That's correct. You might be tying widows' tags on widows' products, our volunteers. That may be what you get to do. You might be working in different programs at a Rafiki village where you get to spend time in a government office many, many times trying to get paperwork done so you can get a visa for another missionary to come in. It's not glamorous. Mission work is not glamorous. It is messy work. And our people do it diligently every day. And all of you collaborate, thank you, Dennis, in some way. So these children and youth and adults, their lives can be changed for eternity. So thank you again for doing that. It's not what you get to do, it's what you get to be a part of. So I want to remind you what you are a part of. Rafiki's mission is helping people know God and helping them raise their standard of living with excellence and integrity. I hope you've seen that. I hope you've seen that's what God is doing. We help people know God through what? Bible study. And we help people raise their standard of living through education, classical Christian education. I hope you've gotten a picture of that. But when all is said and done, this is what vision is, right? Vision is, what do you see when all this is said and done? Well, here's what we are seeing. Thousands of churches and schools using the Bible study, using the school curriculum, cultivating, which takes time. You heard the stories, didn't you? This child came in 2007, and now in 2020, X happened. This Patrick came to work in 2002, and then now look at how he's raised 6 children. It's cultivating. It's a long-term work. Discipleship is long-term. It is not instant, right? And so we're cultivating, but what we want to see is a multitude of godly contributors, yes, in Africa, but around the world. Around the world. We've got people wanting our materials in South Sudan. We don't have a Rafiki village there. We're not going to put a Rafiki village in South Sudan. We don't need to. They can come to Uganda, right, David? and they already have. As you heard earlier, I mentioned there's somebody who might want our material in India. We don't need to build a Rafiki village. Guess what? They can come to Kenya for training. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. You see what I mean? It could go around the world, and it is going around the world because Martin, right, Shaquila, is taking the Bible study to India. Imagine if God allowed that. It's not what you get to do, it's what you get to be a part of. My question to those of you here who are thinking about mission service long term, my question to you is, are you called to stay here? Is God really given you a very particular call as to what you should be doing here? Is there something really nailing you down here that has the kind of impact this has? Because if not, you've already got your toe in the water. You're here. You're like, I'm kind of into this, then maybe this might be something God has for you. Because I'm telling you, if this wasn't the job that God had for me, I'd be back in Africa in a heartbeat. I spent 11 years there, and I loved every minute of it. But this is what God has for me now. But I'm telling you, when you fire me, Tom and Dennis, I hope I can go back to Africa and die there. Anybody who knows me know that's true. Is that right, Lisa Kennedy, my dear friend? Thousands of churches and schools using the RES, cultivating a multitude of godly contributors. And haven't you heard stories about children now and adults now who are godly contributors? I tell you what, it's something I want to be a part of, and I think you do too. The next slide, and I'm not going to go through this. You might take a picture of it with your phone, or I will post this on our Rafiki Foundation YouTube channel so you can get it, because this is the strategy God has given us. We have 10 Rafiki villages. I like to call them launch pads. They are launch pads into these communities and beyond, aren't they? Look at what William Zulu shared with us earlier. Because of the Rafiki village in Zambia, guess what? We now have opportunities in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, because we have a village, we have a place. So we have these 10 villages. We're overseeing those. Friends, that takes resources, funding, and prayer, and people. But God has given us these villages, 300 buildings. Yeah. 300 buildings going on, and the programs. We also have a home office. I hope everybody here has been to the home office at least once. It's a beautiful site. And if we didn't have that home office, we wouldn't be able to help the villages as much. If we didn't have the home office, we wouldn't have Rafiki Classical Academy, which is running now, which we're filled up, folks. We need that new building. We conduct 6 programs, and I don't need to go through all of that. But the next part of this slide is here's what God has given us. Bible study, every book of the Bible. You've heard that all the last couple of days. The classical Christian curriculum, which we own, it is ours. Preschool to grade 12. There's nothing like it in the world. I'm not bragging because I didn't write a single bit of it. But it's true. There's nothing like our curriculum or the Bible study. So we have these 2 great resources. And by the way, we have teacher training. We have 117 or more courses, real college-level teacher training material. That's not just going to stay in Africa, trust me. Anywhere in the English-speaking world, this material can go anywhere to help disciple people in God's Word, to help raise up educators who are the best educators in the world. And God has given us this resource. Do you think He's just going to retain it for 10 countries in Africa? Do you think it's just going to be for 4,100 kids in our schools? Do you think it's just going to be? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's just an amazing resource. Then we distribute all these Bibles, theological materials. Steve told you about that. And we also market the handcrafts of 4 women from Africa to the USA. We're going to collaborate with Rafiki Classical Academy. You were at lunch yesterday. You heard how we're going to do that. So I won't review that again. It's a great opportunity for us. Rafiki Classical Academy is synergistic. It is not taking away from Rafiki in Africa. Don't think that for a second. We have people who want to be missionaries because they've been coming to the school. We have people coming to the home office who've never come before because of Rafiki Classical Academy. And it's going to be a training place for future missionaries. So we do need to pray for that building. And then the last thing, as part of our strategy, we want to mobilize a growing network of support in America. Classical Christian schools, more churches, homeschool families. If you know homeschoolers and they're looking for a Bible study, that resource alone, we have that for homeschool families. So I would encourage you to think about encouraging people you know to consider using the Rafiki Bible study in their homeschool setting. It's fantastic. So next thing is our long-term goals. Let's go ahead and go to that slide. So Karen, what do you see happening? So here's what we need to see happen. In Africa, we need 10 accredited rice programs. Those are our colleges. You might take a picture of this as well. I would love for you to pray specifically. I don't know about you, but many of you were, I was in Bible study fellowship, and a lot of you are BSFers, and we learned to pray specifically, didn't we? So ask the Lord that these programs will get all of them accredited. Secondly, we're asking God for 1,000 schools in Africa using our Bible study and the curriculum. You know, that number is just way too small. Let's make it 10,000, shall we? Because as Steve said, we've got 190 already. I mean, we're almost 20% there. So why stop there? We will grow to 5,500 children in our classical Christian schools in 10 villages. At the villages, that's the maximum number we will have at any one time. Now, here's the next thing, though. We minister to hundreds of widows. But friends, I don't know why we aren't ministering to thousands of widows and poor women. Ask the Lord for that to happen. Because when a woman reaches, I think, 80 years of age, they have a 50% chance of being widowed, or is it more than that? I think we heard that statistic. And they live on less than $2 a day. What does $2 buy in America? You tell me. And so selling these widows' products helps them immensely. Now, the next number is really about half of the churches and our church partners. 50,000 churches. We would love to see 50,000 churches across Africa using Rafiki's Bible study and other theological materials. In order to do this, we hope to have 70 missionaries on the field. Let me tell you, I have some good news here. We now have 4 couples this year who are seriously going through the process of becoming new missionaries with Rafiki. Thank the Lord for that. 4 couples. That's 8 people, but they're going to work 16 jobs. All right. So just don't worry about that. But we'd love to have some more. We have some single people who are also considering long-term missions. So we see God answering our prayers very much. We have a new couple going out, Steve and Lori Bloom. They will be out on the field in July, God willing, going to Rwanda. They were serving all this weekend, and they just went through survival camp, and they survived. All right. So Africa, that's the long-term goals there. Let's look at the USA, though, because I said there's going to be this growing network. You want to know how we have a new network in Rafiki? And let me tell you, folks, we need a new network. Why? Because Bible Study Fellowship was our network in the year 2000. And it lasted for several years. But when Rosemary retired from Bible Study Fellowship, that network began to diminish. So you need to ask the Lord for a new network. And I can't think of a better network than everyone in here who lives in the United States starting a Rafiki Bible study. If we want prayer groups to grow, we need the Bible study groups. So I would encourage you to really think about that. We are asking God for thousands of RBS groups. Ask along with us on that. We want to see hundreds of schools and homeschool families using the curriculum. We need thousands of child sponsors. Every day, practically, at the home office, we ask God that every Rafiki student, that's 4,100 today, be fully sponsored. We don't have that number. Only, I would say, 500 of them. So money comes from the general fund. But why not? Let's ask him for that every child is fully sponsored. Part of our long-term goal in the U.S. is building that Rafiki Classical Academy permanent site. It says K through 8. Let's just strike out 8 and make it 12. So we hope to go to grade 12, high school. We're going to have to. We're going to have to. People are already asking. But the school itself that we're building, God willing, will only go to grade 8. And then we'll use we'll figure that out. All right. Last thing, though, is we hope to also do teacher training in America. We'll want to do it right there at the home office, using that Rafiki Classical Academy. We want to do teacher training because you know what the classical Christian movement in America needs? Teachers. It's going to double in size. They need faculty. And we hope God would allow us to be a part of that. The more we are a part of that, the more people can go to Africa. It is synergistic. All right. So next slide. So new development. I've already told you about the Rafiki Classical Academy. Really check out the materials on that. We will have, God willing, when he provides the resources for this, we will have a new space in which to meet for enrichment, for teacher training. We'll be able to seat about 400 people in that facility, and we will have a nice courtyard to extend out. So this is a great setting, but we will also have an even more beautiful setting right there at the home office. Look, y'all, this is an insane thing to do. Try and build a school. It really is. But we have been following someone who said, let's build 10 villages in Africa. This is the God we serve. And in 10 years, land, initial buildings, missionaries, the start of curriculum, the Bible study started in a decade, in 10 years, 200 buildings in 10 years. Now, we had 15 years of history. That's right. And we had God gave us Rosemary Jensen and all of her connections. But folks, so this is nothing. It is. It's $10.5 million. To do all of that over 10 years was a much more significant investment. So join with us in praying that God would do that for this Rafiki Classical Academy building. The next new development Rosemary shared with you today, the Rafiki Complete Bible Commentary. This we will do some printing here in America, that's right. But we will also print in Kenya. We have a wonderful relationship with County Imaging and another publishing company that we believe can print hard copy at a really great rate, will allow us to then ship it throughout East Africa. This will be, I think, my brother William, extremely helpful, particularly to African pastors. But I think to people here, if you want a very nice, concise commentary on every book of the Bible in just 6 volumes, I think you'll find it just beautiful. All right. The last slide then is you're just all sitting here and you're dying to wonder, how can I be a part of this? Oh, new website. Thank you. That was a slide I added last night. Look, you want to know about all the resources we've got? Our communications team has done a brand new site that is part of the Rafiki Foundation main website. Now at this website, so you go to the Rafiki Foundation website, and you can see at the top of the menu, Rafiki Bible Study and Curriculum. Click on that, and you can see samples of our Bible study for groups, sample of the Sunday school materials. You can see samples of the school Bible study, but there's more. You can also look at the school curriculum and see what that looks like, grade 1, 2, 3, and each subject. Now, the prices we have are for the USA market. We don't charge that in Africa. But I want you to go look at it so you can show it to other people and tell them what God has done and what he has given to Rafiki Foundation. So now you are dying to be a part of this even more. The next slide will give you 3 ways. I was listening to a talk this week about better communication because I want to get better at communicating. And they said, really, the human brain can only take 3 things. Sorry, Dennis, 7. But if you divide 7 by 2, you get to 3.5. So I think you were okay because you have 2 ears and 2 eyes. All right. So how you can partner with us, you can sponsor a child to one of our schools. Child sponsorship is fantastic. So a number of you are doing that. And we have sponsors who, when their orphan finishes, we send them a letter and we're like, would you like to sponsor this child? And yes, sign me up. So we love that. Keep that up. But if you're not sponsoring a child, maybe you'd like to do that. Or get a classical Christian school to sponsor children. We have a school in Mississippi. Every grade level is sponsoring a Rafiki day student. Yeah, every grade level. So maybe you can encourage others or homeschool families to do that. So pray and ask the Lord for that. Start a Rafiki Bible study. I've already encouraged you to do that. You don't need to know about that anymore. Lastly, send a missionary. Send a missionary. Help to fund our missionaries. Encourage someone from your church to consider long-term missions with Rafiki, or send yourself. So that is where God has brought us and where we see He might be taking us. And I know all of you are on for the ride and the journey. So thank you all for coming and being a part of this time together. It's been wonderful. I want to thank Betsy Kramer for doing a great job with coordinating